the fisherman who owned the whole lake. It was early morning. Marcus Reed sat in his old aluminum boat, fishing in the middle of the lake, his loyal beagle stretched out beside him, trees reflecting off the still water. He'd been coming here for 20 years, and the community just saw him as a regular retired guy. No idea this peaceful lake was hiding a secret that would flip the neighborhood upside down. A shout cut through the quiet. Marcus looked up to see people gathering near the shoreline. Jennifer Collins front and center. HOA president. Someone who took real pride in the title, always reminding residents about rules, and completely convinced the lake belonged to the HOA. Jennifer pointed at his boat and called the police on the spot. Within minutes, 2 officers pulled up. She told them a trespasser was illegally fishing on their private lake and refusing to leave. The officers listened and walked toward Marcus. He calmly reeled in his line and brought the boat to shore, no stress on his face. This wasn't the first time someone had questioned him about this place. But something felt different in Jennifer's eyes this time. She wanted to humiliate him in front of everyone. The moment Marcus stepped onto the shore, Jennifer shouted, "Get off our lake!" A few neighbors pulled out their phones to record. Marcus tied off the boat calmly and smiled at the officers. One gently asked if he had a permit to be here or to fish. Jennifer cut in, insisting the HOA owned the whole area. Marcus said nothing. He walked his truck and pulled a metal box from the bed. Jennifer figured he was stalling, but the box held something else entirely. He opened it and spread old maps, legal documents, and county records across the hood. The officers leaned in. A few minutes later, their expressions started shifting. According to the documents, not just a lake, but a wide stretch of land around it belonged to the Reed Family Trust. Jennifer claimed the papers were fake, but every document carried an official county seal. One officer radioed the county to confirm. Jennifer stayed confident the truth would still land in her favor. Waiting, Marcus thought back to something his late father told him years ago, that his grandfather bought this lake and the land around it long before any HOA existed, and that he should never mention the real ownership unless he had to. Whispers spread through the crowd. Some started asking Jennifer why the county records said something different if the HOA really owned this. Her confidence started slipping fast. A county vehicle pulled up soon after. An officer stepped out with files and maps, and everyone gathered around as he compared Marcus's documents to the official records. A few minutes later, he delivered a verdict that stunned the crowd. The county officer stated plainly, the Reed Family Trust didn't just own the lake. It owned the shoreline and the road leading straight to Jennifer's own street. Her face went white. She nervously pointed to her street on the map. But the record was crystal clear. The police told Jennifer that Marcus hadn't broken any law. If anything, she filed a complaint based on false information. She angrily threatened the county survey and lawsuits, but every document just kept proving her wrong. Through all of it, Marcus stayed calm. He could have pushed to embarrass her further, but instead, he simply said his goal had always been peace and protecting his family's legacy. This lake wasn't just land to him. It was his childhood, his memories. Slowly, some neighbors came over to apologize, admitting they blindly trusted Jennifer without ever checking the fact themselves. The county officer explained that old paperwork and years of misunderstanding had left a lot of people unaware of who actually owned what. Meanwhile, Jennifer sat in her SUV, watching from a distance. The pride she'd taken in being HOA president had cracked apart in just a few hours. The community wasn't going to take her word at face value anymore. As evening fell, Marcus sat on his cabin porch looking through old family photos. He'd never cared much about wealth or ownership. What mattered to him was the memories he'd built at this lake. That night, the HOA called an emergency meeting. Board members were stunned nobody had properly checked the county records in all these years. Plenty of questions, no good answers. The next day, Marcus walked the shoreline with his beagle. The air felt just as peaceful as always, but the community saw him differently now. Everyone understood. The man they tried to kick off the lake was the one who actually owned it, lake, shoreline, and street included. As the sun went down, Marcus got back in his boat to fish. Small waves lapping against the hull, cabin lights glowing in the distance. He smiled and cast his line into the water. Some people try to claim what belongs to someone else. Others quietly protect what's rightfully theirs. Marcus never felt the need to prove who he was, until someone else's arrogance forced his hand.